I can definitely recommend Cooler Master's Hyper 212 RGB Black Edition. I used this to replace the stock cooler that came with my Ryzen 7 2700X, the wraith cooler. It did an okay job. I would have never overtaxed it or pushed it to its limits, but that wraith cooler, it sure is loud if you do have a full load going on it, like a jet engine loud. Not that it bothered me, but I wanted to play around and get better thermals. Did a little online searching. I wanted the best bang for my buck, and I came up with this Cooler Master, the Hyper 212, with the RGB. So it comes with one fan, that RGB fan right there. I did add a second fan that I had laying around to pull out the air from the heatsink and push it towards the back. It's really big. It's a big cooler. I do have clearance. I can still put the glass panel on with a little bit of room to spare. But you can see, if you look at my RAM, I got clearance there. And it's really easy because these fans just clip onto that heatsink, and it's really easy just to unclip them in case you do have to remove your RAM. I have mine in slots 2 and 4, so maybe if you had all 4 DIMMs hooked up, you might have to take that fan off, but it's really easy, and this is coming from a non-expert. The instructions, you know, they're not the best, but if you just sit down and think about it, it's pretty easy. I did not have to take out the motherboard. I just took off the back side of my case, and there's an adapter that you have to put on back so you can actually mount this thing. But all in all, the mounting of it, you know, getting installed, pretty easy. So I'm really happy with that process. Comparing temperatures to the stock cooler that came with the 2700X. So with the stock cooler, you know, I was idling anywhere from about 30 degrees to 34 degrees, depending on what time of the day, because in the afternoons it'd get fairly warm where my computer is. And then with the stock cooler, you know, doing stress tests at 4.0 gigahertz, slight overclock, I'd be getting all the way up to 80 degrees. It was high enough for me not to keep running the stress test after about 10 minutes. But now with this bad boy, again, depending on the time of the day, idle, it's, oh gosh, 23 degrees to 27 degrees. And again, when I do the stress test at 4 gigahertz, when I'm running my computer on, maybe 60, I think I saw 62 degrees. So definitely have room to do some overclocking. I'll leave links in the description of my setup, but just a quick overview. I got 2 cheap LED fans sucking in air from the outside. Again, I got the RGB fan on the heatsink, pushing air, that cool air, into it. I got the cheap fan on the backside sucking air out of it. I got the rear exhaust fan exhausting the hot air, and then I got a bigger fan on top of the case, the 140 millimeter, helping blow hot air out. So overall, I'm really happy with this affordable upgrade, and it was the first time I've ever put an aftermarket fan on. And so if I can do it, you can do it. I think it's a great option to your 2700X as far as cooling. I think I did the math. Under load, 15 to 18% cooler. Well, there you go, folks. If you enjoyed this little video, make sure to subscribe, click on the bell button, drop a like, do all that kind of good stuff. And I think next I'm going to upgrade my RAM. Got 2 sticks of 16 gigabytes each, but I want some RGB. So I think that's my next upgrade. I'll see you next time.